Hi, my name is Mary Rose Verret, and together with my husband, Ryan Verret, we're the founders of Witness to Love Marriage Prep Renewal Ministry. Often we're asked, how did it get started? Why do you do what you do? What is this all about? And years ago, in over a decade of marriage ministry that we've been involved in the diocesan and the parish level, we identified newly married couples were missing from the church. They weren't in church. We would see them at one-day conferences, and then they were gone, never to be seen again. And when we started to drill down and try to identify them and find these couples, we found that often they were divorced after the wedding day, and we never saw them in church. We had no way to reach out to them. How could we fix this problem?
We knew that something was missing. There was some detail, right? Some link, because we had all the best books and all the best videos and all the best materials, and we had great writings from great popes. But there was some reason why they really weren't kind of hanging around. We weren't seeing them after the wedding day.
And we even tried mentor couples, and many of you are familiar with sort of the traditional mentor model, where you train a great couple and they become an expert, and they are the experts, and they are assigned to this engaged couple. These engaged couples, however, the number one challenge is they don't trust the church, they don't trust authority, they trust Google. And I'm speaking, we speak as these young couples, we're always looking for someone who's living this out that we know and we trust. And so after interviewing over 500 couples and trying to understand what was wrong, what was the missing piece of the puzzle, we found that these couples all had someone whose marriage they admired. They wanted a marriage like that. It wasn't necessarily their parents, sadly, and it wasn't necessarily the mentor couple we assigned to them, but there was someone. The challenge was, after the wedding day, they weren't going back to this expert for advice. They were going to their friends, but their friends weren't formed to help them. So we decided to go back to the starting point. We had 4 couples out of 17 couples get divorced over a 4-year period. Even with the best of everything and assigned mentors, we knew we had to start somewhere else. So really, from desperation and prayer, we decided to allow them to choose their own mentor, given some very good guidelines. That couple had to be married 5 years or more, active in the church, and have a marriage the engaged couple admired. They were not a counselor, they were not a theologian, but they were witnesses to what virtue looks like lived out in the world. They're going to church together. They became a bridge to the parish community.
And that was been the emphasis when we made that change from them choosing a mentor, and not a mentor who's going to be an expert or a theologian, because we have those, and they're doing an awesome job, and we want to keep encouraging them, their witness. But we just needed somebody to help fill in the gaps for all these young people who come to the church whose parents, or they come from divorced cultures. When we saw, and using Witness to Love, this new model, the divorce numbers started to go down significantly and drastically in some places, and also they were involved in the parish. We kind of referred to in psychology what was happening, because it's important to understand the social sciences in regard to faith, and we started understanding the role of attachment theory and seeing this worked out. Attachment theory is something that basically, in a nutshell, will explain that we only grow within bonded relationships, and faith requires relationships to be a starting point for it to take off. Right? We saw that in the early church, and we see that now. So what if we can do that within marriage prep? And we started using attachment theory. We started using relationships that we're trusting to be the foundation for faith and catechesis. It changed the dynamic of marriage prep, and also it started renewing many of our parishes.
And so it's not just the engaged couple whose relationship is being renewed and built on. It's the mentor couple. It's a 2-for-1 evangelization, marriage enrichment, and the biggest feedback we've had from pastors is, wow, there's couples in my parish I didn't even know existed, and they are on fire. So Witness to Love really builds marriage disciples. It takes people who are just wandering or seekers and bridges them into discipleship and apostleship in the church. And so that's a critical piece of the renewal, that instead of just reusing the same 5 or 10 couples in the parish to be the experts, you are, in fact, if you have 20 weddings a year, you are renewing 20 existing marriages. And the impact of that is amazing in parishes, and it's been so beautiful to watch.
If you would like to learn more about a new approach and a new way of renewing your parish through marriage prep and marriage enrichment, please visit our website. It's www.witnesstolove.org. And thank you yourself for being a strong witness to love in the world.